Stories Podcast, your number one show for everything guitar.
Hello, episode 84 of Guitar Stories. There you are, Dan. I'm here. My name's Andy. Dan's name is not Andy, it's Dan. How are you, Dan?
I'm excellent. How are you doing, mate?
I'm good. You have less guitars in your background. You seem to be somewhere new.
Yeah, that's actually at home. So that's my tiny little office. Not done yet. So still needs a little bit of a brush up. But of course, I'm not without guitars. I've got like one here. Hello.
It's a lovely little strat you got there. So today we've got Carlos Asensio from Guitar Viva. I can't wait to talk to Carlos. He is such a fun person, such a nice person with one of the nicest smiles I've ever seen. And I know a lot of people with nice smiles, such as yourself, Dan. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure who has the best smile out of the three of us. We might have to have a conversation and a competition because
We can do a poll.
That will do a poll. I get told I have a cheeky grin. So I think Carlos's cheeky grin is even more cheeky than mine. And I'm just panicking because his video just turned off. Right, it's back again. If you are listening to the audio version, you don't get to see these smiles, of course, but I'm sure Dan will post something on the Instagram stuff, and I'll put some shorts up as well, and we'll post some lovely cheeky grins. Sarang is saying we should have a smile off.
A smile off, oh yeah.
I genuinely think Carlos might win. I'm a bit worried about that. Might be a new segment to the show. Right, let's have a look at who's in the live chat for the live people. We've got Gary O'Neill. Hello, Gary. Fretlook, some person called Fretlook. Hey, rapper. Valeria's here. Thank you, Valeria, for joining us and moderating. Rock Guitar Vibes. Sarang, thank you also, Sarang, for joining and moderating. Poo Ninja is here. Isn't it the eclipse this week, he mentioned? So he's busy moving the moon in between the sun and us. And also, who else is there? Josh Tanberg, there we go. And Nissan 570 LSX. Greetings, join the show. Dan, how was your week?
I'm on vacation. So the weekend and the week so far has been quite relaxing. Some stuff, in the background, but not too shabby. Doing fine so far, and actually enjoying some quality time at home with the guitars. So I was moving around some guitars and learned a new Hendrix tune, or kind of refined the Hendrix tune. So yeah,
you never really learn a Hendrix tune.
No. It's just like you approach it from one angle, and then you mature, and then you approach it from another angle, and then it just clicks sometimes. So yeah, and it was Hey Joe, so basically a very 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 like obvious choice, but it never really clicked. But lately it felt like I should revisit that song, so I gave it a spin, and we want the video, maybe
I've learned that a few times, and every time I learn it, I realize how badly I was playing it the last time, and look forward to the next time I'm going to learn it, which is even closer to what it might actually be on the record.
That's the thing. When I was like in my teens, I was gravitating towards new rock, new metal, POD, Linkin Park, and all that stuff, and I never really had
Rock Crusher.
Rock Scratcher, Rock Scratcher. I found some old pics. Lately. I got to share that with you. Yeah, but Hendrix never, like, I always appreciated the playing and the vibe, but it never really like touched my heart. But the older I get, I have the feeling that it's kind of, I know, it kind of gets into my soul at some point. Some songs, and especially whilst driving.
Okay. I didn't get Hendrix until I was mid-20s. The only song I got was Foxy Lady because of the Wayne's World, movie, and I just thought it was funny. I didn't get the music or indeed the playing ability, which is now several thousand people have unsubscribed from the YouTube channel and people have stopped listening to the podcast because of what I've just said. But,
ouch.
But there it is. Truth. You want truth? You get truth. You
Yes.
can't have truth and joy at the same time sometimes.
All right.
Right. I think it's time we bring in Carlos, our wonderful guest for the evening or morning, depending on where you are enjoying this episode. Dan, I wonder if we have some kind of complimentary, explanatory introduction for him?
Oh, we should.
We should. You say as you manically click through things.
Yeah, you did. Because I asked you to share it, but
don't you blame me. Don't blame
I
me.
don't. Okay. All right.
Okay, blame me. Blame me. Hang on. As you blame me, I shall copy and paste it. Come up with why it's my fault. And there we go.
All good. No. I'm fine. So I can start. Sure? No, I don't need your help. I can start. Come on.
Go for it then. Go for it. See if I can.
All right.
Do it.
So in episode 84, we welcome Carlos Asensio. Carlos is a Spaniard from Sevilla in his early 30s who graduated in modern guitar and earned a living as a pro guitarist, teacher, and session player. In 2011, Carlos started to upload guitar tutorial videos on YouTube. And that's where everything changed, because the first video, Wonderwall, was very likely not the most original, but it was effective, as it was one of these songs that everyone, that starts out on the guitar wants to learn. And on top of that, Carlos uploaded it at the time when practically nobody was doing tutorials on YouTube. Plus, as a Spanish-speaking guy, he kind of filled a void at that time. And that was basically the starting point of his channel, Guitarra Viva. And, from there, Carlos kind of steadily uploaded content and has become one of the most followed and reputable YouTubers in the Spanish-speaking world of guitar music or guitar tutorials, with his channel being at the verge of, I think, 4 million already. And Andy and I had the privilege to get to know Carlos already through various YouTuber events, and really got to know him personally as one of the nicest guys around, with one of the greatest smiles. And one of the key points that I really like about him is that he stresses friendship and personal relation much more than just plain numbers or business talk. So it was just a matter of time until we asked him to join the show. And it's such a privilege to welcome him tonight for episode 84. How was that? Hello.
There he is. It's Carlos Asensio. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you very much for that great way of introducing me. So thank you very much. I'm very honored of being tonight on this great guitar stories podcast. So thank you very much. I'm a bit nervous, because my English is not my mother language, so I cannot speak. But I will try.
But yeah. I know that guitar is one of your mother languages, so we can connect in that way, I'm sure.
Universal.
And, I really appreciate you coming on, Carlos, and talking in English. That really, really helps us, because my Spanish is non-existent. It's embarrassingly bad. What happens with me, I might think that I know some and might accidentally say something. So I apologize to all the Spanish speakers now for potentially saying some Spanish words that make zero sense.
But it's great to be here and to have the opportunity to talk in English, because as I told you, I would like to improve my English. And for me, believe me, my life has changed a lot since I went outside Spain. Now I know that I have to start speaking English. That's the first step.
Yeah. And it's a great step.
Yeah, welcome to the show. It's an honor to have you here. So, as you might have noticed, we were talking about your smile and your friendly approach. And I truly wish that I did speak more Spanish so I could understand more of your YouTube channel, because it looks great. You have one of the best looking YouTube channels out there. And if anyone hasn't seen Carlos's YouTube channel, then I know Valeria will be copying, pasting that in the chat right now. And there are, of course, links in the audio version underneath the podcast description, etc., etc. But some of as Carlos's channel is in Spanish, some of the non-Spanish speaking listeners and viewers of the podcast may not know who Carlos is. So we thought we'd do our guest in a nutshell, quick fire questions, Carlos. Is that okay for you if we fire some easy, simple, short questions at you?
I will try.
Okay. I think Dan went first last week, so I'm going to go first this week. Very simple first question, Carlos. Carlos, what was your first guitar?
My first guitar was like a Chinese guitar. It was the most cheapest guitar I could afford. So I was working for I was working for a long time as a pizza with a motorbike, delivering pizza. So with my first money, I buy that guitar. I remember it was like it was before the euro. It was like 200 euros. It was Chinese guitar, very cheap guitar.
Okay.
And I take the time. I took the time because I wanted to have a Fender, and I make a decal by myself, Fender. and then somebody buys the guitar, and he told me 2 weeks ago, okay, somebody told me that this is not a real Fender. Yes, it's not a real Fender. Can you see? It's like with a pencil. I made with pencil. So maybe one of those pictures that you sell like a meme on Facebook saying, I don't know if my Fender or Gibson is real. One of those Fenders. Yeah.
That's already a great story.
So we've
It's true.
already revealed that you're also a master criminal as well as a nice guy.
But no, it was a friend of mine. I sell the guitar as a cheap guitar, so not Fender. But he was thinking that he buy a real Fender guitar for no money. So, no.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Carlos.
Now, yes, you're welcome.
All right. So, Carlos, on your channel, you enthuse a lot of people and kind of make them play the guitar and enjoy the guitar. Who was the first guitar hero of yours who inspired you to play?
It's my first, my really first guitar hero was Carlos Santana. Yes, I think all you know. And my name, Carlos, is because Carlos Santana, because my mom is totally a fan of Carlos Santana, and she always hears his music and say, okay, when I have my boy, I'm going to call him Carlos. So here I am.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Yes,
that's awesome.
But
so it's meant to be.
Yes.
Yeah. It was like serendipity, right? So Carlos made him play the guitar. So was there a lot of Carlos Santana music around at your home?
Yes, it was at the beginning, and later we switched it to Beatles. So it's that the main reason I'm speaking English.
You could have been called Ringo.
Ringo Asensio.
Ringo Asensio.
That's a good name. It's a strong name.
I hope to look like Ringo when I get old. He's like 80 or 87, something like that. He looks very nice. But the first one was Carlos Santana. Then I switched to Richie Sambora. You know, I like the Bon Jovi band from the 80s, not the actual. And also, when I was thinking about my professional name, my name was like Charlie Sambora. So it was like I wanted to be like Sambora because I liked his attitude on the stage. But then I switched it off Sambora, and so I picked my real name. And then I start moving to new guitar heroes like let me say Eric Johnson is one of my favorites, but it's great.
Great tune, yeah. Wow. So Charlie Sambora.
Charlie, yeah. So
I love it.
So on Instagram, my name was like Carlos Sambora until like 3 or 4 months. Then I switched it to my real name.
Oh wow!
So I switched it. I know I don't want more Sambora in my life. I have enough.
Full disclosure. Yeah.
Right. Next question, Carlos. What would be the top tip you could give yourself if you went back now and saw your young Carlos when he started playing guitar?
Oh, that's so much to say, but okay. Maybe I will change some decisions on my life, but I will give the same advice that I had, and that to always follow your dreams and don't think what if you can do it or not. You can do it. I'm not talking about legal. So it's always follow what you think. When I was young, I always was dreaming about being on a stage with my guitar. I didn't play guitar at that time, so I think I just followed my dreams. If I were followed the dreams from my father, he would like to see me working on a bank or something like that, or being teacher. Okay, I like teaching. It's my passion, but I will not change about the guitar. I will not give any advice. Yes, I will like to give myself and to the audience one advice. Is the most important of the guitar. There's two tips I will say to my students. One is to develop your ear. It's the most important. So because when I was starting at the beginning, I was playing more like visual. So all this of course it was it was visual, and then I switched to start listening what I play, but not so long time ago. So that's the main reason I'm not a super great guitar player. That is the most important. And the second advice I could give is to follow your own voice. So I think we have to develop our own voice because music is a language, and we always try to sound like Mark Knopfler. We always try to sound like other people. We have to okay, it's okay, we're talking about this every day, but we have to try to talk with our voice. We can play another one's music, but the most important is to follow your dreams, develop your ears, and try to develop your own voice on the guitar. That's free advice. So it's very important.
All good advice. All good advice, and passionately delivered. Thank you.
I try. I think the most important thing in the life, one of the most important, is to follow and to have patience. We need more patience in the world. We need people that is passionate for his job. No matter if he's working, building a house, is working on a bar or working. We have to give the best of ourselves always. So I learned that when I was working on I don't know the name, the orchestra. When I start playing in orchestra, I was working with a lot of towns, small towns, and we were playing like the old music style. It was so boring for me that But then I have a vision, a real vision. There were two old people there enjoying the music we were making. So I was bored, but when I see the face of all those old people, they were smiling, they were having fun. So I said to me, okay, you can't do that. You have to enjoy, you have to smile, and it's your mission in the world, and it's your mission right now to be patient. Okay, if you don't like it, you have to try to like it and be patient about what you're doing now, because people are coming here to enjoy. Sometimes musicians forget about that they're making music for other people. Okay, we have to make our own music for us and for enjoy. But if you are working on an orchestra or something like that, you have to remember that you have to give the best of yourself, because you are getting paid for this. So from that time until now, every time I take my guitar to play with people, and when I go, I try to get the best of me. So especially if I'm hired for that work.
That's excellent advice.
Thanks. Makes me want to go for a run or something.
Yes, you have to stop me because if I always start, I can start, I can stay talking here for 1, 2, 3 hours. You can go to sleep. I will be here tomorrow. No.
Well, Dan has one more quick-fire question for you.
This is the quick questions.
Yeah, that's the quick questions.
Yes,
So be prepared for the long answers, right? Okay, one more quick question, completely unrelated to guitar. What is your favorite dish, or especially Spanish dish, and how can you cook it yourself?
Dish? What is a dish?
Like food, like menu
food.
or something.
It's a fish. It's a fish.
Okay.
I don't know the name on English, but it's a fish. Dorada is the name on Spanish.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know the name. I can show you in.
Valeria, I'm sure, will help us out. She'll know what that is, and she'll show us. But
it's a fish. Let me show you. Maybe you like the fish, but.
And is that like a special recipe, or is it?
No. It's very easy to make it. I don't know. It's very easy to make it. I cook it on my. Yes, I put it on the fry with with fire, and that's all. It's very easy. But let me tell you that I'm a very good cooking. I'm very good at cooking.
Oh.
I like it. Yes, I like it because I don't have much time, but it's what I told you before. Every time I put it, I start making the best. So I can make what you want. Maybe a paella. That is typical for Spain.
Okay, next time we meet, we do some fish barbecuing.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now I don't want to go for a run. I want to go for something to eat. This is very inspiring, Carlos.
Let me just point out what Gary O'Neill just commented. He said, like, an Englishman, a Spaniard, and a German walk into a bar. That sounds like a pretty good joke start.
Yeah, that's it. Also, Fretlick have said that Dan and I can leave. They just want to listen to Carlos all night, and I can absolutely understand that. Sadly, though, we're going to have to do the opposite thing. We're going to get Carlos to leave for a moment whilst Dan and I talk about one of our sponsors. So, Carlos, go and grab yourself a drink or maybe a magic golden fish, and we'll welcome you back in a moment. Dan, Dan, you know that guitars are good, right?
Yeah, I know they're excellent.
They are good. They're excellent. But no matter how good they are, they can be better.
You think so? But how?
I know so. And that is the raison d'etre of our sponsor tonight, Stewmac. Accidentally spoke some French there instead of some Spanish. Yeah, so Stewmac are telling us always that no matter how good guitars are, they can be better. And in the spirit of this, Dan has chosen a tool that he wants to talk about tonight, and it is a tool that sounds a bit like a pop band from the early 2000s. It's a fret rocker.
That's right. And it's a kind of very handy stainless steel tool that kind of spans, I think, like 3 or 4 frets, and you can indicate uneven fret heights and kind of make sure that, the fret job on your guitar is right, or if it needs some leveling, etc. So it's a very professional tool, especially on tour if a guitar takes a bump or if you have any sort of issues with it. So you can just take the fretworker for an easy check and see if it requires some leveling or some fret drops or not. And I'm always a big fan of those kind of handy tools that you can carry around and have at your disposal when you're touring. So it's not cheap, got to say that, but it's definitely worth the money because that's one of those tools that you buy once in a lifetime and then you just carry it around with you until you're an old grumpy old man, right?
Yeah, which was about 7 days previous for me. I had a grumpy week last week, but this week I'm much happier. I will also add on to that, Dan, that I think it's one of the most necessary tools to buy for people that have inexpensive guitars. If you're buying a super budget guitar, it's one of those tools that you can just check, because you might be complaining the action's too high, or it doesn't sound right, or the action's too low even. That can tell you pretty much instantly. It's not the only tool you need, but definitely research it and find out. And once you go down that rabbit hole of buying guitar tools and getting into setting up your own stuff, this is one of the first you will need.
Definitely. And I read one remark. I read one comment that said it's a very precise tool, maybe sometimes too precise. And this is exactly what I figured, that especially when you're dealing with entry-level guitars, sometimes these tools can be even a little bit misleading, because you have that high standard of that precise stainless steel tool that, is perfectly aligned up to a 1/10 of a millimeter. And then you have a guitar that slightly deviates from that, and you think, oh my God, the whole guitar is crap. But, true. That's not the case. It's just, that's the highest standard. And it's great to have a tool at hand.
Yeah.
To kind of make sure that it's how it's supposed to be. Yep.
Okay, Donkey from Shrek number 1. Thank you to our sponsor this evening, Stewmac, who we genuinely stand behind. Let's welcome back to the chat, Carlos Asensio. Hey, Carlos.
Hello.
Hola.
So it's very interesting,
Hola,
the sponsor you were talking about. So sorry, because I didn't understand everything. So you were talking about leveling frets?
Yes.
It's very important that. So let me introduce. I made a guitar series.
Hang on, wait a minute, Dan, we need to do this, okay? This is what we need. There we go. Right.
No. I made a series with a luthier friend of mine, and we show how you can adjust your guitar. And sometimes it's a bit difficult to find those tools that you were talking about, and it's totally important, because if you have one fret that is a bit up, it will not sound good. So we made this guitar. I buy the cheapest guitar on internet. We put all the most expensive we find on internet. We also use a tool like the one you show. So if somebody really loves the guitar and have the time, I will advise to try to unless adjust the guitar. It's the most. It's very important because it's very different to play with a well-adjusted guitar or is a bad guitar. A good adjustment can make it that you play more comfortable. Okay, the guitar will sound the same if the guitar is bad, but I will advise everything to everybody to make the adjustment. So yes, it was my opinion. Yes, I was not invited, but I invited myself.
But it's excellent advice, because usually if you spend a little bit less on the guitar, but spend a few bucks on having that set up by
it's the most important. It's really the most important. It's like here in Spain, it's not expensive. It's like 50 or 60. Around and then my luthier, a friend of mine. Okay, he refused my money because, but okay, it's my luthier, it's my friend, and he put the guitar exactly as I want. And if you go to a luthier, he will be looking how you play, the way you pick, if you pick hard or not, and he will adjust the guitar. And sometimes we say, okay, the guitar is not good. No, maybe the guitar with a good adjustment will make it. We will work nice. So if you are not confident with it, maybe the first time is a good option to take the guitar to somebody who really knows how to make the job, and then try to start adjusting the thrash rod and maybe the bridge, all that stuff.
Actually, that's something that made me think a little bit in the past, because we've encountered some cases where people went to pseudo professional luthiers and they kind of almost ruined the guitars, and then they had to spend a lot of money to kind of get those back. I wonder, everyone can call himself a luthier. I wonder why there's no like some sort of certificate or where you can kind of judge.
Well, there's the like to take Fender for example. They have Fender certified, so there are people that can be certified, but you're absolutely right. Anybody,
right?
Anybody can open a shop. Anybody can open a YouTube channel and make a video of how to do it.
It's a problem. It's a problem because, for example, my luthier, he was studying on a real luthier school. He knows how to buy a violin. He knows he can buy already a guitar. So he can make everything. It's not like somebody that maybe watched some videos on YouTube and started making adjustment. So it maybe he can range your guitar. So if you go to a luthier, go to experience luthier, to a good one.
Yeah.
I will. Sometimes it's better to spend more money and go to somebody who you know who is good.
And sometimes you're not lucky enough to live near many of them, so you have to choose the one that's closest. So it can be a hard job, but when you find a good one, make sure you give them all the money that you can give them, because they will look after you and they will make sure that you get what you need.
Or maybe you can make us me and you can invite to your channel, and he became famous and he always adjusts all my guitar for free. That's the second option. No, but I feel very bad when he doesn't pick my money, so I feel very bad for that.
But now you say nice things about him, so that's it's an exchange, and he must be happy as well and proud to know that you're playing guitar set up by him. So I think there's at least a karmic exchange going on there that he'd be happy with. Right, it's time to talk new gear. So
yes,
we have some gear picks for you. Dan and I don't know what Carlos is going to talk about, which so far is the theme for the entire show. Okay. But we're going to. I think I want to keep Carlos to the end. Is that okay? I'll go first, just because A becomes before D, and that's the only reason. The only reason I can come up with. So it is time for gear picks of the week.
Andy's pick of the week.
Right. My gear pick of the week changed about 45 minutes ago. Originally, I was going to talk about the Line 6 Helix update, which I think is phenomenal. I'm just putting it in there because if you have a Line 6 Helix or HX Stomp or any of that sort of stuff, there's a free update. And I have to give props to Line 6 for constantly updating that stuff, which is now 7 years old. So, yeah. I think anything that can be kept up to date and 7 years old is phenomenal. And the new update is great. And I will be making a video on it very soon. But, however, that is not my pick of the week. My pick of the week is a guitar that I found in my inbox this morning. It is a signature guitar, but only for the Japanese market. It is a Fender Stratocaster. It's the Michiya Haruhata Stratocaster, Fender Custom Shop, Japan. It's heavy relict. It is a two-tone sunburst with a humbucker at the bridge. It looks very beaten, very heavy relics. It's a Damasio at the bridge. I can tell that because I read my email that was in Japanese and I saw the word Damasio. I don't know how much it costs, but I'm going to guess quite a lot. I know it's only on the Japanese market. It's got a maple fretboard, possibly a whole maple neck, with a reverse large Fender headstock. So it kind of looks like a Hendrix Strat in that respect. And it's what I like about it is it's not only heavy relict, but the two single coil pickups are cream, but the bridge pickup, the humbucker, is black. And this is the first Japanese artist to have a signature guitar with Fender, which is also quite a big thing.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's an ash body, two color sunburst ash body, very 50s inspired. I put it into Google Translate the Japanese. Blah blah blah. Yeah. I think I've covered all the kind of specs, and I would really hope that if you're listening to this, you should go and check it out and Google it somewhere, possibly on Google. Yeah, that's my pick, a Fender Stratocaster.
All right, really find out how much that clocks in.
I tried. If anybody in the live chat can do it, then I shall put a hat on and then I shall take it off for you.
Oh yeah, because it's a master
any
built by
thoughts
Jason
on that?
Smith, so I assume.
Yeah.
Well, definitely.
Valerian's sharing the links in the chat. Thank you for doing that. But none of the links I could find had a price on it, which makes me think it's I don't know, unicorn money.
I mean, if I may.
No, you may not.
Another guitar.
You may not. It
reminds me a lot of this little piece of gear, which is a Sunburst Andy Timmons signature guitar that I've been playing for 20 years now.
Looks nothing like it. Nothing. There's
no not at all.
Whatsoever.
It doesn't even have a reverse headstock. That's like a regular headstock.
No, it doesn't even look like it.
But I think it's a great workhorse guitar. I'm not a big fan of the whole relicking thingy, which is a little bit over the top for me personally. But at like 3.3 kilograms around that, I think it's probably a very nice looking guitar. Oh, telephone! A very nice looking guitar.
It's Andy Timmons is calling you.
Andy Timmons, yeah. Stop talking about guitar. It looks nothing like
it.
Wait, Andy? Yeah. Yeah, I know it's a knockoff. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's Dan, the phone's still ringing. We can still hear it.
I already blocked it. I blocked it, Andy. Andy is always calling me. So.
No.
Okay, maybe Andy should come. Andy Timmons should come.
It's a great looking guitar. I've got to give props for that. I love the reverse headstock. You know, I'm always saying that the world would be a nicer place with more reverse headstocks. It's probably crazy money, but it's an excellent pick. So thumbs up from my side.
Great. Carlos, do you like that Strat? Are you a Strat guy? Are you a humbucker bridge Strat guy?
Yes, I'm a super Strat. I love the guitar you show. I always like with the fat Strat. The fat Strat is that humbucker. But it's very nice, that guitar you show me. Yes, I really like it. But I have I would like to get some guitar like that maybe. But I'm not sure about the Relic. The Relic. How do you feel about the Relic? Do you like the hard Relic?
I love it, Carlos. I think it looks phenomenal. The two-tone Sunburst Strat is one of my favorite looks, and was indeed the color of my first guitar. And I love Relic guitars. I love the way they feel. And what I'm looking when I see that Strat is not what it looks like, it's what it's going to feel like.
Yes.
No,
I don't think it's posing to have a Relic Strat. I think it's absolutely acceptable.
It has a very nice look, and when one guitar like that, when it has that look, normally plays always very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's my turn.
Not yet.
No, it is Dan's turn first. But before you do, Dan, let's have a little bit of a jingle.
Dance, pick up the week. Dance, pick up the week.
Pick up the week.
It's great, isn't it?
Thank you, Carlos.
Yeah.
What a happy show we're having today. What a happy show. I hope everybody's having a wonderful time listening to this as much as we are having fun doing it. Dan, what is your pick of the week, mate?
My pick of the week is the new Dan Electro 59 M NOS Plus Blackout. And basically, I think it's just like a new finishing option with the black pickguard and the flake finishes. But boy, these guitars, they look sexy. So Dan Electro is offering 3 different finishes. It's black metal flake, purple metal flake, and green envy. And basically it's lipstick equipped Dan Electro double cut with 21 frets, stack controls, wraparound bridge. So basically a no frills guitar at a very affordable price. And I was very intrigued by the looks of it, because for around like $500 to $600, I think it's a very, very interesting looking guitar, a pure stage instrument. And I think every guitar, like every serious guitar player, should at least have one Dan Electro guitar with lipstick pickups, because, you know, for slide and various songs, it's just that particular sound that you sometimes just want. So yeah, that was my pick. It's not the most spectacular or the most expensive or the most, I don't know, eye candy guitar, but I was really like gravitating towards the purple one. That appealed a lot to me, and I was almost considering buying it, but I didn't buy a lot of guitars lately. So,
what is the price, Dan? You mentioned it's not the most expensive.
I think like between 500 to 600 euros. I think it's 550 in US dollars. They're kind of hard to get hold of in Europe, to be frank, but I would have to look that up. There's a distributor here in Germany who's taking good care of Dan Electro, so maybe they know more. But they say the MSRP is around 570, so maybe street is 500 euros ish. Yeah.
Yeah,
but purple sparkle Dan Electro, that's pretty cool. So I can, and you got to give props to Maneskin. The Italian kind of phenomenon in rock music. Vic, from the bass player, the lady, she gave a lot of exposure to Dan Electro, playing that Longhorn double cut bass, and so I think the brand is on the radar again.
Okay, Carlos, what do you think?
It's great. It's a very nice guitar. That's all. I know. In my particular, I don't like that shape, but I think it should sound nice. I prefer your pick, Andy.
Well,
We'll see what
it's not a competition.
Yeah,
it's not a competition, Carlos. But I'm happy to be winning.
No. I don't. If you give me the two guitars, so no, but okay, maybe Dan Electro. I like to. Yes.
Well, Carlos, do you have a favorite color? Because Dan's is clearly the purple one. Which one would you take out of those three?
No, the purple. Maybe the purple with yellow pickguard. Could be nice.
Ooh, yellow pickguard on that would look amazing. Yeah, you're right.
Yes. Yellow.
However, I'm strangely drawn to the green, even though it's the least flashy, the least sparkly of all of them. I don't think it is sparkly even, but I think the green looks cool. It reminds me of my favorite color, which is the olive drab green that Gibson do. I dig that, but I absolutely would go for
the green is very nice, but it's like a bit dark for me, I think. Yes, maybe if we're more like a Cobra, AC Cobra from the 60s, remember the car?
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So, but I like it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm intrigued to know what our live chat people will do with this when we buy, borrow, or burn. But before we can do that, we need to know which piece of gear that Carlos is going to talk about tonight. Carlos has not told Dan and I what he will be talking about. I'm curious. Carlos, what are you putting on the table today?
Okay. I know this is not new. This is not new, but I would like to share some gear that I think is great. I think will maybe be in the future of the guitar, because I'm using a guitar that has a small processor inside, and so you can switch the sound of the guitar. Okay, it does sounds as nice as if you have a real amplifier or something like that. But I have there's a guitar outside that I don't know if I can say the name, but it has the Mejor GTRs. I have three of them. My favorite.
Oh yeah, go grab it. We'll wait.
Is this one?
Oh yeah.
Also, I have this. Let me. This is very. This is like headless. They release it.
This is the new one.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the new one. This is okay. This was released like I can remember.
2 weeks ago, probably.
2 weeks ago, yeah, this one. So it's yes, but I have it at the studio for 2 months. I think that I have been testing it, and it's very nice. It has a color that changes. And let me tell you that that at the first I will never this shape is. I will never buy a guitar with this shape, but when I test it, I say, okay, it's very light and it sounds nice. And let me tell you that. Sorry, I don't have.
Free hands. You need
this
Carlos.
guitar.
Yeah.
Carlos needs an
Nice.
assistant. Can we have an assistant for Carlos, please?
So yes, I need it. Let me 1 moment.
Oh, he's grabbing a third guitar. So if you're listening to this, Carlos currently has 2 guitars in his hand.
Okay.
And now he's picking up a third one, which is the PJD. I can see it.
Yeah, the PGD is great. I received it a few weeks ago. It's great. But about this guitar, I will never buy this. It's not like the shape. I like it, but the guitar has some features that I really like it. And when I test it, it say, okay, it plays very, very well. The feature I like is that it has, and I think all the guitars will take this on the future for sure. Maybe not the system from Royer. Maybe they will develop, because it doesn't sound as great as some guitar processors that are out there, but it has a good processor, sounds nice, and it has a feature that I love that is wireless, but you don't have to switch here. I have a wireless and I go directly, and you can transmit without switching, without plugging, nothing.
Oh.
It has the transmitter inside.
Oh,
So
wow, okay.
it's very, very nice, but I like more this one. This one is the I have to go to the gym, man. This is a very, very nice looking guitar. So, but
Big.
okay, we have to remember that it's a guitar that costs around 1,000 and has a processor inside. So it's a guitar that is very nice. And I think in the future, all the guitar will have a system like this. Maybe it's a system that you can update and put different firmware. Maybe you can buy an Ibanez and it has like a built-in processor, and you can flash it the amplifiers that you like from somebody. Yes, and, with your presets. So you don't have to carry your amplifier, because for me it's very practical that I go live. I have all the weeks or the weekends. I have like 1 or 2 gigs with playing with my cover band, and I go live with a guitar like this. So with this one, so it's very nice. And why I'm going live with this? Because it's not a super expensive guitar, and it sounds cool. Okay, if you pick another guitar or maybe a good amplifier with good pedals, it will sound much better. But audience doesn't feel the difference. On the past, I was using my PRS, my favorite PRS, and a Quad Cortex from Neural DSP. I have, I was one of the first, maybe the first on Spain to have it. I made the review. I was using it live, and then somebody stole the Quad Cortex and my PRS from my car. Yes.
No.
I
Yes.
saw your post about this. Yeah.
Yes. So it was totally. So I say, okay, I have lost like 7,000 today. So this is not going to happen. I will never leave again a guitar on the car.
See.
And I will not say for playing with my cover band expensive gear. So I usually take this or another one that is cheaper. That one, and people doesn't feel the difference, because sometimes the difference is on how you feel the guitar, feel the guitar, and so a good adjustment, you feel it, is what make it. Okay, the sound comes from the electronics, all other stuff. That's believe me that I'm very happy with it. With that system, but maybe for my studio, it's not the main guitar I use. I have the PRS, the PGD, and it's sounding great. So I'm switching, I'm moving. So, but
Well, Carlos, I have that same guitar. The one The one you have in your hand right now, the pink GTRS, I have that one. And sadly, the one that was sent to me, the bridge was probably done on a Friday, and the bridge posts were out, and there was nothing I could do to stop the trem block from touching the body. And I opened it up, and they'd done some crazy things inside. So they are sending me a new one in red. But the technology that you're describing, I absolutely get on board with. I think it's phenomenal. And 2 weeks ago, the headless guitar that you've picked up, that was my pick of the week. And everybody here hated it. And I wish that you'd been here to defend me, because everything you've just said are all the things that I wish that I could have said. And I know that at the beginning of the show, you said that you had apologized for your English, but you've just said things that I couldn't say 2 weeks ago. So you've absolutely outspoken the native speaker here, and more owe you a lot of money for all the things you just said, because you've described the guitar and its uses perfectly.
But let me ask you, is the P series or the S series the one that you get? Because
the S series.
They have the S. Okay, the S is not, it's good, but not as good. So sorry,
Right.
I'm going to another guitar. This is the S series. This is the S. You can difference because it has a chrome, and this is the P.
Okay.
The good. This is a very big difference. This is like a 500, and this is like 1,000.
Mhm.
This guitar is good for the money, but it's a guitar that for 500 or less, it has like a processor that maybe costs like 200. So you have to have in mind that it's a 200 guitar, a cheap guitar with a processor.
Yeah.
Yes. So this has the same processor, but has more money on the bill. So this is very good. I use it live because I don't want to take this one to the shows. Because so
Carlos, whenever you decide to close your YouTube channel and just become the sales guy, I think Moa or Toman or Sweetwater, they would hire you instantly.
No, but this guitar is very good. And no, you have to think about it, because people say, okay, so sometimes people, I was saying to people, okay, I'm using it live. And somebody told me, no, you are a liar. You are not using live because you have more good guitars. Yes, it's true, but I don't want to take it to that place. If I have a good gift, I will take that. So please don't tell the people from More to send you a P series, because you will enjoy much more.
Right. Well, the S series is already. I have to correct myself. The S series is here. I've done the review, and the thing I said about it was they've made a mistake putting that technology in this budget guitar. They should have put it in a guitar that was a better guitar. And again, I might just point them towards this live stream. I might cut a section of this live stream and just have you saying that, and you've done my job for me. So thank you, Carlos.
Yes.
Carlos, I know you said that we should stop you talking, and I'm going to do that now. Okay. Because although I'm having one of the best times I've ever had on the Guitar Stories podcast, we do need to move on, and we can come back to you in a moment. And I know you're not offended. We're going to play a game called Buy, Borrow, or Burn, where the live chat people and us decide who has the best and worst gear pick of the week. And I promise you, if they choose your pick first, I'm going to kick off. Because it was my pick 2 weeks ago. But that's sometimes people need extra time. Maybe I'm just ahead of the curve. So let's play Buy, Borrow, or Burn.
Buy, borrow, or burn.
Right, so the rules of the game, Carlos, are you have as much money as you need, okay? So money is not a thing in this game. It's just a game. You have to choose to buy one of the three pieces of gear we've mentioned, be it my Japanese Fender Custom Strat, be it Dan's Dan Electro Sparkly, or be it your More GTRS series. You have to choose to borrow one of those, so an instrument that you are interested in enough that you want to play it, but not that you want to buy it. And then the third one, you have to burn it. Gone. And I promised you Spanish
Yes.
with
No,
fuego.
but for sure, the most nice pick of this week is yours, the Japanese.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
the Japanese.
Thank you very much.
I have to make that 3 decisions.
Yep.
One, I have to. Okay, but
Yeah.
I can burn and
Just
the pick
Just
from Dan.
hypothetically, it's not real.
It's
you know.
not real, Carlos. It's just a game.
Yeah, but it's very difficult because my favorite is my pick. But
Can I help you?
With the money, I will buy your guitar, the Japanese, and I will burn the guitar from Dan. Dan Electro, and I will borrow the more. Yes, the more that you this one. Yes, because we will talking about 3 picks, no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
3 picks.
But that's my. But what does the people say on the chat?
Well, I've just put a poll up in the chat, and you've got the chance to buy the Dan Electro or the Fender. So please put your vote in now. If you're at home, then just shout into your AirPods or your car, and somehow through the magic of the international show this evening, we will hear you. So shout it out as loud as you possibly can. And so far, I have to leave the poll going for a little bit longer because Dan Electro is the guitar that people want to buy the most so far. But as I'm talking, that number is reducing. So I shall continue talking for a little bit longer. Coming in at second place is my Fender, and coming in third is Carlos's more.
It's very close.
But
It's very close this week.
It is close. While we do that, we're not doing guessing tonight, Dan. We're just going to go straight for what we're going to do. I'm going to go for mine. I would actually, out of those 3, I would buy the more GTRS once again. I would buy it.
Okay.
I would borrow the Dan Electro, and I would have to burn my own thing, the Fender, because
what is wrong with you?
Or would I? No, I take it back. No, I forgot that money was no option. I'm buying the Fender without a doubt. There is no doubt that I'm buying that Fender.
Right.
But then between the other 2, that's difficult. I need to.
May I be the devil's advocate with the more?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm still having a problem with the integrated circuitry in guitars because of the obsolescence that any kind of electronic device kind of brings about. So we had I think someone mentioned that the RGKP6 back in the day, there was a Chaos Pad equipped RG, and that was a cool tool to fiddle around with it. But once the electronics parts kind of is outdated and there's no updates, I think it really diminishes the overall value of the instrument. And part of what makes a 59 Les Paul or a 9060 Strat so unique is that it's still it still keeps the integrity. It's still the same amazing instrument that it used to be. Or if you buy a 87 Gem in Loch Ness Green or something, it's still that iconic instrument. Whereas who's talking about a desktop computer from 2002? Nobody. True. Right? So
I agree with you, but may I expand that and defend the more by saying that, as Carlos has just said, he's gigging with it, and it is good enough to gig with, and it will be good enough to gig with for many, many years. So no, it will never be as desirable as a 59 Les Paul, but as a working musician's instrument, it will never get any worse. Yeah. So I absolutely agree with you, but I also have to defend it in saying that there's no reason for that technology to be any worse. So it will always be a giggable instrument, assuming that it doesn't explode or, set on fuego.
Dan, you are right, totally right. But let me tell you that I'm with you. But you remember the pot 2120? It's still, if you know how to dial, it's like
of course.
20 years old,
and
it works. I like the concept, but I think they should improve it. Maybe in the future future, maybe 20 years, we have like a pod that you can just plug on your guitar, on your favorite guitar, maybe it's a Gibson or something like that, and you can wire, and it can go directly outside.
Okay.
So it's maybe. So I think it's the future. But to be honest, nothing sounds like a real amplifier. So it's like a real amplifier, your pedals. But for a working musician, it's nice.
But we had Carlos. We had some sort of eureka moment last week. We had Andrew Boehner here, who is a next generation fret player, and he actually started on digital stuff and kind of now rediscovers the authentic stuff, like a real amplifier. So for him, the whole digital plug-in kind of game is what is reality, and the rest is just something like almost like a myth that he's kind of discovering now as he matures and gets access to these kind of options. So I think it's always a matter of perspective when it comes to that. And I would agree 100% that a Pod 2.0 especially is still a great device, and you can probably plug in a Klon Centaur and make it sound amazing. But with that said, the problem now it took some time, right? But now,
I was busy. I was clicking things.
But I'm really having a problem with that kind of hardware not being supported by the software side of things. So if you cannot upload new sounds, or if you cannot reset that stuff, it's really tricky. So I would love to see some sort of maybe even some sort of law or something that kind of makes the manufacturers support that until eternity, at least, with the basic functions, because nowadays, that stuff gets outdated so easily after 3, 4, 5 years. Even video games, like there was that platform Stadia, where people
Yes,
were playing.
I had an Stadia. They supposed to give me my money. You have a Stadia too?
No, but I read it.
I've never met anyone with one. But it doesn't.
I think I know only all the 2 or 3 people on the world that were using Stadia. And you know what? I turned down my subscription, so I put down subscription is well, and then it's true. So then they closed Stadia. I was feeling so bad for that, because it was like 2 days before I quit from Stadia. So maybe I'm the man who say, okay, this is the percentage that we can afford this. So
right, gentlemen,
about the technology.
Yeah. Sorry, go for it, Carlos. Sorry.
Yes, you can go sleep. I will stay talking. No, but about the technology, the truth is that technology has to help us for our proposals. A good guitar will be always a good guitar. If you have a guitar that is only working with a system like more, okay, it will get obsolete for sure. So for sure. So for example, let me say another thing. One of my favorite, and it's totally actually that is helped me making videos, is a neural DSP. Okay. Why? I love it, because it's really, I'm not promoting it, okay? But I always was looking for this. I have two inputs, and in one of that I have my voice, and the other one I have the guitar, and I can go to my computer, and I have like the guitar stereo processed, unprocessed guitar. So if I want to change something, I can, and my voice, I can have my voice processed and with no process. So it's what I use, but now I'm switching to amplifiers. Yes, why? I don't know, because if you put a good amplifier, you can really feel the pressure. But it was, we were talking before, it's you, but in a recording, maybe nobody knows that it's a real amplifier, or maybe a pod, or maybe the helix. That sounds great.
Agreed. I would love to hear more about what kind of amps you recently rediscovered, but I think we gotta take a short break to talk about our second sponsor of the show. Is that right, Andy?
We do, but we've just got to finish off Buy, Borrow, or Burn. So let's just go through the chats. We need to know who's winning. What's interesting, I'm not sure if I'm going to do these polls anymore, Dan, because I kind of prefer when people write what they would choose rather than just click a button. You know, I think people's fingers need more exercise. But what was weird is that over 40% of people would buy, 40% of people that voted would buy the Dan Electro. But also over 40% of people that voted would burn the Dan Electro. So polarizing. You know that we love polarizing subjects here on Guitar Stories podcast. So absolutely agree that is a great choice. But let's just go to some live chat people. We've got Studio Camille, who, as far as I know, hasn't dropped a super chat yet. So must be something wrong in Belgium at the moment. He would buy the Fender, he would borrow them more, he would burn the Dan Electro company for ruining a great band by an owner who supports anti-gay organizations.
Ooh, okay.
Very, very political comment. I'm not going to go into it because it happened a long time ago, and I think you should be able to separate the guitar from the politics, as the music from the artist. And that's certainly a conversation for another day. Okay. Silence came in the reply. Thank you. Right. Sarang also, hope you're doing okay. He said he just felt a massive earthquake here. Be right back. That's definitely the most worrying live comment I've ever received on the video. I hope you're doing okay, dude. And I know that you will be. But he did say that he would buy the Fender because it looks amazing. Good choice. Borrow the Moore to shoot it out against his Fractal, and burn the sparkly Dan Electro because he wants to see the sparkly boy burn.
Okay.
Just going to leave it there. Dan, before we go to the sponsor, which we do really need to go to quickly, what would you buy? What would you borrow? What would you burn?
I would buy the Dan Electro. I would borrow the Fender just to try it out and do a little bit of A/B comparison against my AT100 and burn them more.
Yeah, you hate me. You hate me.
No.
I think, gentlemen, I don't think we have a definitive answer this week. Normally, it's very clear what's happening, and I really enjoyed Borrow or Burn this week. I don't think there's a definitive answer. And normally it's just flat out I lose and whatever else happens. Carlos, we want to take you for a little break for a moment while Dan and I talk about one of our sponsors. We will see you in a little while. Dan, yes. It is a show tonight. What a show. I'm both 50% exhausted and 50% invigorated by Carlos's chat. I really don't know what's going on. So we've got another sponsor bringing Guitar Stories podcast to you, and we thank them verily. The sponsor is, of course, Guitar Auctions at Gardner Holgate, one of our favorite places to look at gear porn. Dan, tell me a little about Guitar Auctions.
It's a amazing platform that more people, I don't know, should more people know about it? Because then
definitely not.
Yeah, we should keep it a secret. So please don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone.
But like, it's a super great platform where you can shop like used guitars in an auction format. And there's that great guy Luke who's taking care of everything. So once you purchase a guitar,
lovely beard.
Yeah, lovely beard, and you don't even have to fly out to the UK. They will just ship it to you. They will pack the guitar perfectly in. And the great thing about this, there are so many gems, not Ibanez gems, but gems like jewels in guitars that you can.
I found one actually, Dan. I found one.
Can you show me?
Show it. It's this one.
Yeah.
It's a Gretsch. I'm not going to whisper because I can't. It's a Gretsch Electromatic G5260T Jet Baritone. It is sparkle silver. And it can be yours because it's estimated to go between 200 and 400 Great British pounds. And I think it's a stunning instrument. It's going to be fun at the very least, and everyone should have a baritone in their collection. And as we know, Guitar Auctions, you can get some really expensive, exclusive, limited stuff on there from artists as well. but also you can pick up some bargains sometimes. And that one even comes with a carry case, some
Sweet.
quite decent looking case there.
And they
So
don't they do only offer guitars, or what else do they have on auction?
No, Dan, no. No, they don't. There's loads of pedals, but I'm definitely not going to talk about those because I want to pick one up myself. So we're not promoting the fact that they have pedals, and we're also not promoting the fact that they have cool amps and things like that and memorabilia, because those are the things that people don't know about that we want to pick up at decent prices. So we're not talking about those things because that would mean that people would bid against me. So that's one thing we're not going to talk about. But if we were going to talk about them and you wanted to know, you could bid and watch online at guitar-auctions.co.uk live on the 7th and 8th of December is the next auction. Luke will be there with his colleagues, helping, assisting you. I will also be there as well, possibly bidding on a few things because I bought 3 guitars so far from them, and I'm working on my 4th, maybe a couple of pedals as well.
When is the auction?
7th and 8th of December. In fact, just under a month from the day we're recording this and going live. So
7th and 8th. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So auctions.co.uk.
Okay, so we have a show on St. Nicholas Day, and then maybe we can talk about our favorites, or we shouldn't.
We absolutely will. We'll give them we'll talk about the guitars that we don't want them to buy. Right, thank you, Mikhail, for the super chat. That means we can bring Carlos back. Carlos, have you ever bought a guitar at auction?
No, I have never bought a guitar or on that website.
Just generally, do you ever buy on eBay or guitar auctions or from the back of a car in a car park?
I buy. I was buying. I'm very old, and there's sometimes that we didn't have website to buy second gear guitars. Like now, we have some of them that they are great, and I think everybody was buying guitars on eBay. No. And I buy a Parker Fly Classic one on the USA, and a friend of mine picked the guitar and bring it to my home in Spain.
Oh wow! Okay.
It was the most. Then I sell it. I have for a time and I sell it.
That's how it goes.
No, but I don't usually sell the stuff I have. So the other day I was talking with Dan. I think I have sell only 3 guitars on my life.
Oh wow! Okay.
One was the Ibanez RG 50, the one I told you, LTD.
Yes.
It was from the 90M from Japan.
Yeah.
It was like my real first guitar. I sell the fake Fender and I buy the Ibanez. It was a really great guitar, and then I sell it because I really needed the money. Then I had I can remember the guitar I had to buy because I sell it for the needed. I didn't need. I really needed the money, and I had to play with another cheap guitar. And then as it was cheap guitar, it was like a Yamaha. And then the other guitar I sell was a Variax. You remember Variax?
Yeah, of course. The
Variax.
Variax. Yeah.
The only
the
4
other
guitars.
computer guitar.
Yes, it was Dan was telling the concept was nice, but the sounds get obsolete. It didn't. It felt like a MIDI guitar.
Agreed.
But I think the big difference was the second iteration of the Variax. They had a kind of almost Les Paul-ish guitar that had like great craftsmanship behind that. It was just not like a regular Hurticaster kind of ridiculously cool guitar.
Three of the second generation Variaxes. I had the Les Paul, the 59, I had the Stratstar, the 69, and I had the Standard. And I sold every one after a month or two. They didn't inspire me as instruments. And if I want to play a Les Paul, I want to pick up a Les Paul. And if I want to play a Strat, I pick up a Strat. Or if I want to play a Gem, I'll pick up a Gem to put another brand in there.
Or a Pia.
Or a Pia, yeah. No, there's nothing replaces a Pia. But what I'm trying to say is
can I quote that? Andy Ferris.
No, you cannot. Not for free. It'll cost you exactly 2 peers. One for me and one for Pooh. What I will say is that as a gigging musician, it would have been perfect. I just wasn't gigging at the time. And I wanted to, I had the YouTube channel and it didn't help me. I'm like, I can't use a video with a Variax because people wanted to see the real Strat or the real gem or whatever.
What I like it from the Variax, from the first, I had the first version. I was playing with the orchestra and I had the pod, and you can synchronize with an Ethernet cable, and I could could change the presets. I had an acoustic guitar, a dobro, and then I just switched presets, and it worked nice for a time.
Yeah, I love the banjo setting on it. I thought the banjo setting was great. The acoustic setting was great.
The guitar was very bad. The feeling was like a cheap Chinese guitar. Unless the one I had, that it was the like 300. Or, I can remember the series 300, 500. I had the cheapest one, that is the one I could afford at that moment. And this was like a cheap Chinese guitar. So it was, we were telling before, because you have to feel confident with the feeling of the guitar. So yeah, a guitar can sound very good, but you have to feel it good.
Yeah. I would love to see Yamaha put the Variax stuff in a Revstar. That would be amazing, because the Revstars are fantastic guitars. Yeah. And then if they threw an updated Variax software, in fact, I think it's about time that happened. Like, if you look at the market now, how long Variax has been around, how long it's been quite quiet. I don't know anything, but I would not be surprised if Yamaha Line 6 did a Revstar Variax. It seems about the right time.
But I think that the natural way should be. I will go for it, just for the modulation, the effects, simulation, not about the guitar, because it's what you told. If you want a LP, you pick your LP, and it's very strange to play a guitar that is not matched with the guitar you are playing. So it's not real. So for me, maybe Variax made something that sounds good, but the feeling has to be similar.
Yeah, of course. It's got to be like a proper guitar with some extras, right? And not like a digital gadget that also can be used as a guitar. And that actually led me to the point. I don't know if anyone in the chat and who's listening to the show knows that guy from that used to do the custom shop Yamahas. His name was Pasquale Campolatano. Short name Pat Campolapano, and he's now a principal master builder for Jackson Guitars and Charvel and EVH. And he, back in the day, he did all those amazing Yamaha custom shop kind of one-offs for artists that almost looked like race cars. And, they had all those, designs that you would actually expect from Yamaha, but they never really pulled it off. And Carlos, when you said, or Andy, when you said you wanted to see a new version of that, he would be a person to invigorate the whole concept. But unfortunately, now he's no longer with Yamaha. So I think some genius is gone. There's some severe brain drain in that regard. Yeah.
Well, then we probably need an idiot with a screwdriver and a YouTube channel. So Ryan Burke, if you're listening, I send the job to you, my friend. Yeah. Well, we've only got about 10 more minutes left with Carlos, and there's so many things. I just want to throw questions at Carlos and have him speak for 10 minutes. I love you, Carlos. I love spending time with you. I want to, if I may, share a little story about Carlos that for me kind of sums up an experience with him. We were at Guitar Summit this year, and we were staying in the same hotel. And I was there with Glenn Fricker and Henning Pauli as well, and a few others. And there was an orange juice machine. And next to the orange juice machine were these tiny little glasses, these glasses that were offensively small. Like, what is the point of this glass? Like not even a shot glass. And I went there the first day to breakfast, and I put my little shot glass under the machine. I pressed the button, and it got to the top in half a second, and I took it away and went to breakfast. And I was quite pleased. The next day, I found a slightly larger glass that was supposed to be for water. And I put that under, and I thought, I am the king. I am the king of breakfast. I have broken the system. I pressed the button, and I got a real glass of orange juice. Carlos comes with a tray with like a stein of orange juice with like, I don't know, let's say 5 liters. And I don't know where he found this glass, but my happiness with myself suddenly went down to 0 again, because you basically brought a glass that was almost as big as you are to the breakfast table. And I will never forget that moment where I was so simultaneously happy and sad. It was...
Yes, I remember your face. It was like, where did you get that? Where did you get that? It was
I was kind of angry. I remember being angry.
When I arrived to the table and you were happy with your glass, and then you saw me, and I was thinking it was about me, some problem with me, but you were angry for that my glass was bigger.
It wasn't a glass. It was
the next day he picked the big glass. You picked the big glass, yeah.
Yeah, I learned from my mistakes, and I learned from the best.
It's very bad.
Great story. That's a great story. So
yeah, and
we kind of left off at the amp section. I'm such a gear slut, if I may say. What kind of amps are currently on your menu, Carlos? Do you have any
I have
preference?
a box from 1962.
Okay.
Yeah, this the one from there, and
Wow.
now I'm going to get a Soldano, some and a Tone King. I don't know if the Imperial of the Sky King. I'm deciding on those two.
Mm-hmm.
So I
both
have
excellent
to
amps.
see which one do you prefer, Andy? Sky King or Imperial too?
I would probably go for the Sky King,
Okay.
mainly because I use a lot of pedals, and I think the Sky King is phenomenal with pedals. Not that the Imperial isn't. If I were to just use it for an amp, I would get the Imperial, because I think it's a beautiful sound. I used it at Lewitt, and it was just one of those perfect sounds.
I think I was testing it at a Hendrix event, and I really love it. That amplifier. Also, Valeria, who was there, he told me this is the amp everyone use for pedals, and she advised me to use it, and I'm very happy for that. So Valeria, thank you very much. And it's really sounds great. So now I'm switching to real amplifiers. My problem with the amplifiers was that sometimes it gets difficult to microphone the amplifier and mix it. But now I know that there are some easy ways to do it. To record the amplifier, we all know that the stuff. I told you, going outside Spain really changed my mind. And it's like a new world for me. It's very, very. Spain is very nice, but going outside in Spain is more nice because there are so great people out there that they want to help. So I'm not talking about Spain, but the people I have met outside Spain, both of you, for example, I have made new friends, and I'm very happy. So I'm very, I feel very, very nice for it. So thank you for your friendship. Thank you for inviting me here. Yes.
I think you enriched a lot of lives of other people. It's like Andy and myself, because it was, with a big channel, you usually expect a big ego as well. And then you are standing in front of us and you talk, with us like as if we knew each other for ages already. And it's just one of those instant connections where you just feel that the chemistry is right. And it really made a big difference personally to me to get to know a person like you. And then, because it makes things much easier if you have like a natural connection to each other, and if you can talk about everyday life, about family, about your personal hassles and all that stuff. I think that's important, and that's why I said in the introduction already. I think you're a rare breed, and it's amazing to see someone like you in the industry.
Thank you. So I'm very, very happy. And as I told you, the numbers are only numbers. If tomorrow everything goes down, internet doesn't exist, we have to be good people. We have to be friends. So if somebody thinks that he's better than other just for having more likes, having more guitars, or some stupid thing,
or a bigger orange juice glass.
Yes, no, but this makes sense. No, it's great. Yeah. So I'm very. I have to say this to be honest with the people. I have been working on this like for 11 years right now, and thanks for my friend Firth, that is very friend of mine. We're always talking. He really we had a great connection. He's always helping me, because here in Spain things were a bit difficult, especially with brands and all that stuff. So I was fighting, and now that I went outside, everything is so easy. So easy. There are some things I can't say here, but I'm very, very happy for being invited to this podcast and to have both of you as a friends. So because it's the way I feel it. So it's thank you very much, really.
You're gonna have to stop, Carlos.
Yes.
Right. I'm going to call it there, gentlemen, because I definitely want to get Carlos back for another show. There are so many things that we've not talked about. I still have so many questions, and I just want to hang out and spend time with you, Carlos. And Dan, you're always, as usual. Thank you to the people in the chat for joining us. Thank you if you're listening to the future version of this. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope it invigorated you as much as it did us. Before we love you and leave you, Dan, would you please ask people to rate the show and give it, I don't know, 5 stars?
Yeah, why not? So if you enjoyed the talk with Carlos, first of all, make sure to subscribe to Guitarra Viva, and also check out his amazing interview with Steve Vai. That was almost like 1 hour long and very deep and very touching personally to me. And if you've done that, and if you checked out the video, make sure to leave us a 5-star rating on iTunes or on Spotify or any other platform. Leave a comment or a like or whatever you wish. And if you already did so, just grab your neighbor's iPhone or and give us a rating. That will be amazing. And make sure that we will be back with more amazing guests, and maybe with part 2 of our chat with Carlos. Thank you very much.
All right.
So
goodbye.
Enjoy. Thank you.
And yeah. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Guitar Stories Podcast, your #1 show for everything guitar.